Hi, we're the Art Apes, and we're on a mission to help you take your art further, faster, by giving you information and understanding of advanced art theory and how to apply it to your art today.
In this episode, we're going to be talking about one of art's main strategy pillars. We're going to be talking about rhythm in art. We'll talk about what rhythm is and why it's important. Plus, lastly, we'll have a bonus tip for you if you stick with us through the end of the video. So let's swing into it. Rhythm is one of the three main art pillars. It is far more important than many people know, and you will need to understand this information before we can move on to the other two art pillars. Lines, tones, and colors all have power in an artwork. They each have a certain amount of power in your artwork. The key to unlock these ideas is to understand the power of rhythm. And it lies in the way the lines, tones, and colors are ordered and arranged so they can have the power to affect us emotionally. This is a massively important concept. It is how they are ordered in importance. This power is similar to a melody or a symphony. There are many different instruments in an orchestra, and they combine into a unified idea of a musical piece. So many wonderful composers, each with their own talents, from John Philip Sousa's The Liberty Bell, famously used on Monty Python's Flying Circus, to Tchaikovsky's 1812 Overture. Whole groups of notes and instruments are working together to create these pieces. The instruments are ordered in and when they play and how loudly they play. The music is arranged in a certain way to communicate the type of emotion the composer wished the audience to feel. That's an important concept. Tchaikovsky did something I am sure many composers thought impossible. He included the canon, a canon, in his 1812 Overture.
Tchaikovsky, cannons aren't a musical instrument.
Yes, they are.
Tchaikovsky, no.
Tchaikovsky, yes. Tchaikovsky, always yes.
Rhythm should be one of the primary considerations in your art. Rhythm is one of the most powerful tools you can use to create an emotional connection between your art and your viewer. This emotional appeal of rhythm happens regardless of the subject matter. However, when the rhythm of line, tone, and color is thoughtfully allied with the subject of the work, that feeling you're communicating with the viewer is enhanced. Rhythm isn't accidental. Rhythm doesn't just appear in your artwork. It's planned from the start of the work. When you're looking at your motif, your subject, you are drawn to certain abstract movements within the construct of your visual field. We often sense this rhythm and music in the sculpture, paintings, and architecture, which appeals to our inner being since it affects who we are as individuals. If you think about the type of house that says home to you versus the type of house that says mansion to you, what sort of feeling is conveyed by that architecture? Both are houses, but one seems more cozy and the other might feel more formal. What's the difference? What do you think of when someone says sculpture to you? Something modern, something classical, like Michelangelo's David. There's a communication between you and the object. It's something that's quite unrelated to what the architecture, sculpture, or painting is actually of, but it conveys something more to you. Again, it is This arrangement, the way the lines and tones, shapes, and colors are organized in orderly groupings. Now, I'm not saying the orderly grouping is a marching army of straight lines. Absolutely not. I'm referring to the conscious placement of things as a unit so they flow together. And more importantly, the way everything works together as a single unit. There's an abstract music of line and tone and color. It is the business of the artist to relate the form, color, and tone of the way things look to this abstract musical quality. This is something the artist should never lose touch with, even in the tiniest and most intricate part of their artwork. If you want to convey vitality and give your work the full range of expressive power, you can accomplish this by relating the abstract arrangements in your work. It is rhythm where the form, tone, and color of the appearances obtain their full expressive power and becomes a means of vitally conveying the feeling of the artist. To restate how to implement rhythm into your artwork, rhythm needs to be installed into the design of the picture. It is not accidental. It isn't discovered as you paint or as you draw. Everything, and I do mean everything,
Everything?
everything in the picture needs to conform to these design ideas. From the largest shapes and masses to the smallest necessary detail, rhythm tells the emotional story, and you need to make sure you're not creating problems inside your design. So, maybe some practical ideas. Look at your motif.
It's a lovely motif, by the way.
Well, I just got it cut. Look at your motif, your subject. I mean, what are the big shapes? What are the big line movements? Where can we reinforce certain line ideas or certain mass shapes? The idea of reinforcing and supporting the lines which thoughtfully speak to the emotion of the subject is a powerful and generally underutilized consideration. When we look at the mass shapes, how can we help support these so they say all they can? Now, there's some possible pitfalls to watch out for, or at least be aware of. Changing the design of your work midstream because of a new idea you have while painting the work.
I had a new idea. You should see all my new ideas in my painting.
This has happened to me more times than I can count. Something which I had initially overlooked or some new light effect can and has caused me to go off in a new directions, thinking to myself, how clever I am to have discovered this. It never works because it destroys the rhythm I had installed into the piece up to that point. The whole canvas will need to be reworked and redesigned to fit the new idea if it has any hope of developing into real art. Too much detail is another problem you can have. Too much detail added in the wrong places especially can destroy, break up, or lessen the impact of certain tonal masses or lines. Again, if you call too much attention to something insignificant in the painting, then you usually are breaking up the power of a mass shape, or you're breaking up the power of a line. Think of these detailed areas in the wrong place as being equivalent to having a dotted line rather than a solid line. It's really easy for me to fall into this trap because I love, and I do mean love, all caps love, to paint detail. There is, at the base of every picture, a structure of lines and masses. They may not be obvious and may be hidden under the technique of the painting, but if you search them out, you can always find them. They are the foundation of the work. Now, some say that lines are only the boundaries of masses, and others, like him,
that masses are only the spaces between the lines.
Either way you look at it, there are emotional qualities which affect us in the line and the line arrangements, and also the tone and tone arrangements. These are not accidental, and they are designed into the picture. Any power a picture may have to move us emotionally will be due to the rhythmic significance of this original planning. In a future video, we're going to explore the types of lines which mean certain ideas and how arranging different masses can help reinforce or subdue the way the lines are interpreted. Here's the big overarching idea for rhythm. When we construct a picture using the type of line which is in sympathy with the subject or the objects in the painting, then the full expressive power of what you're trying to portray will be available to you. On the other hand, if you've not thought out how the movement of the lines and the tone masses within the painting are interacting with the subject of the painting, you have lost so many opportunities to amplify the emotional significance of your work. And you know what time it is?
Is it time for the bonus tip?
It's time for the bonus tip.
Bonus tip!
In the picture, le soif, I'm not, well, actually, I am half French, so I get to rip on them. Anyway, it means the thirst. The Lion in the Desert by Jean-Léon Gérôme. The lion isn't attacking anything, so the line work in the painting doesn't reinforce aggressive and high energy ideas. The large masses of the desert and sky with their subtle gradations help to reinforce a feeling of being okay with the predator. The actual lines used within the lion itself are relatively calming, which decrease the energy of the lion, and therefore, with the reinforcement from the gradations of the sky and the desert, it has a pacifying and soothing influence on you. If you remove the lion from the painting, you still have a calm scene. But let's consider all the same elements of the landscape, but instead of a single lion lying down, you have two lions fighting, rearing up on their hind legs, their teeth bared, doing battle to get through the other's defenses. The energy of those lions wouldn't agree with the energy of the background, which would decrease the energy of the battle. We are just getting started into explaining how to make rhythm work for you in your art. Stay tuned for more videos on this subject.
Hey, if you found today's episode had some valuable information, hit subscribe, ring the bell button, or leave your comment below. We'd be happy to hear from you. See you in the next video. Bye!
Bye!